Cars 1 was a fairly decent, relatively entertaining film. Cars 2 was an unrelenting mass merchandising dumpster fire. And yet, Cars 3 might be my favorite Pixar film to come out since 2010's Toy Story 3. So what the heck happened? We are going to answer that question in Remedial Media 101. Just a disclaimer, if you're looking for a really in-depth critical analysis or a kind of a point-by-point, fully fledged review of Cars 3, that is not what this video is intended to be. Rather, this is me having just gone to see the movie yesterday because it just came out on Friday, being genuinely surprised about my response to the film and just kind of wanting to formulate some of my thoughts about why that might be the case. You see, I've seen a lot of kids' movies. In fact, I would say just by looking at the number of movies I've seen in my lives and categorizing each of them, by far the majority that I have seen and enjoyed and put at the top of my list on a regular basis are in fact children's movies, but the Cars movies have always been way down low at the bottom of that potential list. Sure, Cars 1 was a nice combo of follow your dreams while also stop and smell the roses that made for some slightly interesting ideas, but nothing that really grabbed me. In Cars 2, as I already said, was just an obnoxious pile of something you can't say in a kid's movie. So I didn't really go into Cars 3 expecting to like it, let alone even loving it. My whole family just decided to go see it together for Father's Day, and I tagged along because free movie and spending time with family, cha-ching. But as I sat in the theater watching it, I found myself on a regular basis genuinely laughing at some of the jokes and getting choked up in my throat at the characters and their relationships, and before long I was completely and totally engrossed. I'm gonna quit repeating myself and just say I loved it. Here is why I think that is. We're getting to the actual point of this video now. I just start by talking about the one thing that draws me into any movie that makes it onto my favorites list, and that is the characters and the relationships between them. I'm the kind of guy who would watch two people sitting in a room and talking to each other for an hour and a half if they were genuinely well done characters and I thought that the drama between them was engrossing. In Cars 1, our hero was a stuck-up jerk and I wasn't really sure why we were supposed to be rooting for him. His sidekick character was just mind-numbingly annoying, and the supporting characters were somewhat endearing but also very cut-and-dried, cookie-cutter, one-note characters. Cars 2 made the fantastic marketing decision to take that aforementioned really annoying sidekick character and make him the entire point of the film's narrative. In Cars 3, though, Lightning has learned his lesson. He's much more humble and genuinely trying to do the right thing. All the supporting characters from Cars 1 are back, but they have much less screen time, and so they're there just long enough that you remember why you kind of like them, but they don't start to get on your nerves like they did in the first movie. And that includes Mater. He's barely in the thing, which is fantastic. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't like that character at all. He's like the Minions turned into a pickup truck. So we've got a much more welcome, supportable hero. We've got less of the annoying side characters, and then we've got some new characters, one played by Nathan Fillion, and that's always a plus. And then the new trainer, yellow car, Cruz Ramirez, I think is her name. I didn't do any Googling before I started recording this, so I'm probably gonna butcher half these things. Anyway, the new ones are genuinely likable, and they fit well in the world, and they expand on the story elements, and they form genuine relationships with the pre-existing characters. I mean, watching Lightning and Cruz together is the majority of the film. You get this fantastic mentor-mentee relationship, which really, not to spoil anything, but is the entire crux of the movie, and it's good. It's well done, and you want them to succeed and to get along and just be happy because it's a kids movie and no spoilers, so you don't know if they do or not. And the second thing, which I will admit is much less significant but still really means a lot to me in a movie, is that the world seems much more consistent with itself this time around. This wasn't really an issue in Cars 1 because it established the world and pretty much it could get away with whatever it wanted to, plus it stuck fairly tightly to the racing bounds. There wasn't really potential for it to go off the rails. Cars 2 could be a masterclass in going off the rails, however, and that's all I'm gonna say because I want to stop hating on that movie and talk about why Cars 3 worked well, because it did expand on the world from Cars 1. You saw other races, you saw other types of races, other types of vehicles, but they all seemed to fit. We actually learned rules about the way this Grand Prix works, even though I don't think they would actually do that in real life, although I don't know the rules of, say, NASCAR. I'm not going to go into more depth on that because that would be a major spoiler for the final 20 minutes of the movie. It's just much more believable from beginning to end, and part of that is because it's not go, go, go all the time. I mean, yes, this is a movie about race cars, but every movie has to have moments where they stop and smell the roses. I've used that phrase twice now in this video, which is weird because I don't think I've used it in the past 5 years of my actual real life. But the pacing slows down and there are nice, peaceful, contemplative moments, and those moments are set in some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous settings because my word, just to talk about the CGI for a second, because Pixar is like here's the curve and they're way over here, just miles ahead of the dang thing. I'm pretty sure they used the same photorealistic engine that they used in The Blue Umbrella and The Good Dinosaur, which was not a great movie, but looked really cool. And so as a result, there are scenes where you can't see the car's eyes and things, and you think they're just cars driving around in real life. It's mind-boggling. I liked this movie. I don't want to just belabor it because, like I said, I don't have in-depth thoughts. I've just been kind of mulling it around trying to figure out why, and those are some of the things I think. So I would highly recommend, if you even remotely enjoy kids movies and you've liked past Pixar movies, and especially I guess if you liked Cars 1 and Cars 2, because this is just a better version of those, go see it. See what you think, because I was very pleasantly surprised, and I hope you will be too. Class dismissed.